Good Monday morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Zidua, the most trusted name in herbicides, providing Ohio soybean and corn acres with up to 2 weeks more residual activity and broad-spectrum weed control. I'm Joe Everett. Some quick calendar reminders powered by Soy Biodiesel. Dusty will be on the road today for the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow, going to Swartz Farms and visiting with Dan Swartz in Trumbull County. And get ready for the future of farming. Join Ag Revolution for the Ohio Massey Ferguson Roadshow on March 26 at Ag Revolution's Urbana, Ohio location. Learn more and RSVP at agrev.com. News headlines at ohioagnet.com. Feeding Farmers is back. Nominate your favorite family. We'll have more on that coming up. A story on Carry the Hoof Trimmer. And Derek Snyder named to the American Farm Bureau Committee, and an update on this week's podcast. Today's news feed sponsored by Tempty, Factory Direct in Sydney, Ohio. From trailer sales to parts and service, our team is ready to keep you moving. Stop in today or call 326-206-2062. Now let's check in with Ty Higgins for this week's podcast.
On the latest Ohio AgNet podcast, powered by Ohio Corn and Wheat, I chat with Doug Coe of Relentless Ag. He recaps the performance of Meristem's BioCapsule in Ohio in 2025 and talks about how difficult it might be to get farmers to try something new in today's economic climate.
When Grandpa, great-grandpa, and Dad, all they did was spread fertilize. And, when we have those conversations, why are we doing what we're doing? It's because we've always done it this way. And we've got those tools and we've got the data behind them, to go out and say, okay, let's look at this differently. Let's not look at something that's based on 50-year-old technology or 50-year-old data. Let's bring it into today and let's see if we can take some money off your spend while maintaining or even in most cases increasing yield.
Plus, young people interested in the cattle industry are finding a new opportunity to learn, connect, and grow through the Ohio Beef Youth Council. Ryan Bowser talks about that program.
The goal with this organization is to bring anybody that's interested in the beef industry, no matter if you raise cattle, own cattle, or even eat cattle, they want you to come together to learn about the beef industry in all aspects of it. So the goal is to connect Ohio beef interested people, that's a good way to put it, across the state together in this organization.
Then Melanie Straitbach with Farm Credit Mid-America talks about your operation being positioned for generational success during a down cycle.
When you think about the long-term viability of operations, that's in question right now, just with where profit margins are at. I heard yesterday we're getting ready to put the most expensive crop in the ground we've ever planted. And so how do you look at tighter profit margins and the cash that's left over and sustain additional labor by bringing that next generation back? And so it's a tough question that a lot of farms are having to work through right now. And it's a really individualized answer. It's different for every single operation.
Listen to the full podcast online at ohioagnet.com. You'll find the audio and video version there. I'm Ty Higgins reporting.
Hey, thanks, Ty. Derek Snyder of Hardin County has been appointed to the American Farm Bureau Federation's Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee for the 2026 through 2028 term, beginning in March. Snyder is a fifth-generation farmer and owner-operator of Doolin Farms, LLC, with his parents in Hardin County, and serves as a senior account officer at Ag Credit in the Kenton, Ohio branch. Currently serving as Hardin County's Farm Bureau president, Snyder has been very involved in the organization for over 10 years. He also served on Ohio Farm Bureau's Young Ag Professionals State Committee, including as chair in 2024. Congrats, Derek. To learn more, you can find this article today at ohioagnet.com. Now we tune in to learn more about a hoof trimmer here in the Buckeye State. Joel Panorwood has the story.
A purple cattle chute and a whole lot of grit. That's become a familiar sight on many dairy and beef farms across the state, and it's the signature of Carrie McFarland. Carrie the Hoof Trimmer is what we call her, and she's the feature of a story online today at ohioagnet.com. She didn't plan to start out entering the hoof trimming trade. She's built a full-time business traveling farm to farm across the state and region.
I love what I do. I feel like it's what I've been called to do, and things I love about my job is it's a skilled trade, and your work speaks for yourself. And if you're not doing a good job, you're not going to maintain clientele, and so far so good on that end. I love the instant gratification and satisfaction you get from either keeping a sound cow sound or helping a lame cow just move a little easier while she heals.
McFarland now services farms of all sizes across Ohio in a field where only a handful of trimmers exist. And her job, she says, all about keeping cattle sound, productive, and profitable.
Hoof trimming in Ohio specifically is kind of a dying breed. Like 15 to 20 of us, and 75-80% of that population is older, looking to retire, but they can't. So my goal is to kind of create a fleet of hoof trimmers in the next 10 years.
And with those big goals in a unique field, faith plays no small part.
I read something the other day that said, if God gives you a business plan, know that he'll give you clients, and there's a lot of truth to that.
Read the full story online today at ohioagnet.com about Carrie the Hoof Trimmer. I'm Joel Norwood reporting.
Hey, thanks, Joel, for that update. Well, while you're over at ohioagnet.com looking at some of our other stories, make sure you look at the Feeding Farmers. Ohio AgNet is hitting the road again in 2026 with the return of the Feeding Farmers, bringing the radio studio straight to the farms across the state, along with a meal for hardworking family farms. Sponsored by Ag Revolution and Paradise Energy Solutions, the program highlights Ohio agriculture by visiting farms throughout the growing season. At each stop, the team provides lunch while recording interviews and video to share farmer stories across radio and digital platforms. Farm families can sign up now for a chance to be featured with tour dates running from April through October. To enter or learn more, head to ocj.com/feedingfarmers. Now let's check on today's weather, which is brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Cold air dominating in Ohio to start this week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather Update. Still dealing with a little bit of moisture trying to exit the state to the east and south this morning based on what we saw come through overnight last night. Anything down there is gone very, very quickly. The rest of us will see partly to mostly sunny skies emerge, but Canadian high pressure is in control, settling in across northern parts of Illinois this afternoon into Indiana this evening. It's going to dominate here from tonight through tomorrow. That means we stay chilly all the way through your Tuesday. Temperatures moderating on Wednesday. That helps us with southwest flow. We might see a few hit and miss scattered showers on Thursday in southwestern parts of Ohio. By far not full coverage. I'm looking at 30-40% maximum there. And then we see a stronger front coming through overnight Thursday night through Friday. Rain and thunderstorms anywhere from 1/4 to 1 inch likely. Coverage at 100% of Ohio, turning colder behind that front. I'm Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next here on the Ohio AgNet.
Hey farmers, planting season is almost here, and Ohio AgNet wants to bring lunch to your farm. Our Feeding Farmers contest is going statewide, and we'll soon be picking farms across Ohio to receive a visit from the Ohio AgNet and free lunch for your farm family and crew. If you'd like us to stop by, get signed up today. Just visit ohioagnet.com/feedingfarmers to enter. Feeding Farmers is brought to you by Ag Revolution, Paradise Energy Solutions, and the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust.
You're tuning in on the Ohio AgNet. Let's check in with Dusty Sonnenberg, who gets an update from a Sandusky County farmer on last year's yields for today's featured audio.
Joining me today is Jim Dausch. Jim is a Sandusky County farmer who was runner-up in the 2025 Ohio Corn Yield Contest. Jim, congratulations. Take us back through 2025. Let's look at the year in review and how it started.
The corn crop, we got in early April. We got the fertilizer on, anhydrous planted in like the last week of April. Was all done with my corn crop in April. So we had a kind of a jump start on things, and things got off to a good start, and we had some good rains, timely rains through all of May, June, and first couple weeks of July. Then it turned off dry. Mm-hmm. And then, we got some good subsoil in our soil structure, so it held the moisture. And late July and August, we get little timely rains, nothing big, but ended up with a real good yield. So
you guys will do spring anhydrous actually and put that on ahead of planting the crop?
Ahead of planting the crop, and then we only do we spoon feed our corn along the way. We put the spring anhydrous. We use 28 through our planter. We're putting a little nitrogen on there with the pop-up fertilizer. And then we're coming back when we're side dressing with 28. and we're doing like half rates of anhydrous and half rates of 28, and then whatever our rate is at the planter, and then of course we're putting fungicide on, and we're putting a little bit of foliar feed fertilizer with fungicides and trying to capture the most yield possible.
You raised a Pioneer P1383 AM. Tell us about it.
A 113-day corn.
And what was your yield?
My final yield was 345 bushel, point something.
345.53 according to the official records. Not bad, almost at that 346 bushels per acre. Jim, tell us a little about the soil types in that area.
Where the yield contest is, it's a loam soil. It's got a real good base underneath of it, and it don't kind of a not sandy loam, but black loam. It don't crack open and won't dry out deep. Like I got some Hoytville clays that'll crack open and dry out deep. We had that this year, but we got decent yields off of them fields. This farm we got our best yields off of.
Well, Jim, you were runner-up in the 2025 Ohio Corn Yield Contest, but when it comes to the wheat yield contest, you took home the top prize being the state champion this year. Tell us about that. As I recall, it was pretty dry in the fall of 24.
It was dry. We planted the wheat probably, I would say, right at the end of September, the first couple of days of October maybe. It looked great all fall and looked good all year, and we fed it good, and 140 some bushel wheat in July when we harvest it.
You can make some money at 140 some bushel wheat, and as we were talking before we went on the air, you also are able to sell the straw off of that too, which adds a little bit. But maybe that secret ingredient we haven't talked about, you got some hog manure out there too with the hog operation. Talk a little bit about that and sort of how you work that into the operation.
We raise hogs. It's all liquid, so we inject it in the ground when we can, so we don't have odor problems or runoff problems. We try and do the best we can. We're participating in the H2 Ohio program, so we got to follow their rules, but I mean it's good rules. Don't I've always said it's a bonus to us. Okay, we're getting 20 units in out of our hog program, our hog manure, so we don't rely on that. We kind of follow a basic program on our wheat, and then it does great. So
with the wheat in the spring, a single pass top dress of nitrogen, or do you split apply that?
I split apply, and that's the way we've learned that with the corn. We spoon feed it along the way. We apply some early. That's where we apply the bulk of it, but then we come in later and put a little shot of 28 on and put some herbicide down for any weeds or anything if we got to control. And then we'll have the airplane come in and do the fungicide with another little foliar of fertilizer. Just a couple gallons is all we're putting on. We're learning that. We're getting good benefits from spoon feeding it along the way.
And a Pioneer brand wheat as well?
Yes, 25R64.
Good.
It's a Pioneer wheat.
Well, congratulations on being the contest winner for the Ohio Wheat Yield, as well as the runner-up for the Ohio Corn Yield Contest winner. I guess the final question, are you going to give it a try next year?
Yes.
All right. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Again, my guest today is Jim Dausch. He's a farmer up in Sandusky County. Again, sort of a double winner for us, winning the wheat contest and runner-up in the corn contest. Jim, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Reporting for the Ohio AgNet, I'm Dusty Sonnenberg.
Hey, thanks, Dusty. It's now time for today's market analysis, which is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company, excited to bring the brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Profit taking hit the market on Friday. Market volume was well below what had been up to that point on Friday. There was a little bit of plains rain in the extended forecast last week. As I take a look at my forecast now, getting into next week, I would say there's not a huge threat of Great Plains rain. There's some, but I wouldn't get over the top excited about that saving the wheat market. But we'll have to see what everybody looks at trying to do here a little bit later this week. Brokers estimate managed money sold 2,600 contracts of wheat on Friday, 4,700 contracts of corn, 3,800 contracts of soybeans. Crude oil futures were up again, about $1.50 to $2 last Friday. Traded over and above 100 at times and then back below through the week last week. The Strait of Hormuz closure is the main driver. As energy markets go, I think row crops go as well. I'm Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Now let's take a look at your markets, brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Let's start off with May corn, $4.68.5, up 3 cents. July corn, $4.79.5, up 3.5. As we turn to soybeans, May, $11.66, up 4 3/4. July soybeans, $11.81, up 4.5. And July wheat, $6.14 3/4, up 7.5. As we turn to livestock from Friday's close, April live cattle, $234.05, up 77 cents. April lean hogs, $91.27, down 77 cents. And April feeder cattle, $351.17, up $3.42. This is the Ohio AgNet.